Welcome! You are listening to the Overseas Life Redesign podcast, where you'll hear fun, relaxed, and inspirational interviews with people who are really living the dream. I'm Dawn Fleming, an attorney turned alchemist, and your host for the show, coming to you from the tropical island paradise of Isla Mujeres, Mexico. This show was created for courageous souls willing to step out of their comfort zone and design a new way of life. You'll gain inspired midlife wisdom from those who have done it as we share experiences, strategies, and offer practical steps you can take to redesign your life overseas. Listen and you'll believe if you can dream it, you can achieve it.
Well, today I have the pleasure of interviewing a lovely couple that I met actually through an interview for my new book, and just was so impressed with their story that I really said, oh, you must come on my show as well. So thank you so much, Chris and Susan Beesley. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with me today.
That's lovely. Thank you for inviting us.
So a little bit of their background. They're former accountants of a certain age. We won't talk about what that exactly is, but I thought that was cute. With 5 kids and 4 grandchildren, they love skiing and traveling the world, and have achieved this amazing lifestyle. So now their mission is really to help others do the same. So I'm not going to take too much thunder away from your story. I want you to tell it, but I love your background. I love the transition that you've made similar to mine, and sort of escaping that professional rat race. Still a rat race, right? Even if you're a professional and own your own job, right? So anyway, if you want to just start off and give us a little bit of backstory on how that whole transition unfolded for you.
Okay. Thank you. It's fabulous. I'll let him start.
So unlike most couples, we've worked together and lived together for best part of 30 years.
Bravo!
Yeah.
Not easy.
And we're still married.
I'd have a cocktail and go cheers to that.
Excellent.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we've been accountants and management consultants. We were that for probably 15 odd years, I guess, yeah, working together. And we work mainly in the veterinary profession. So we were helping veterinary practices with their business side to help them
Lovely.
grow.
I bet that I know from being married to a physician, my first husband, they don't teach any of that usually in those schools. So.
No.
Totally scientists. That's what they love, not the people and communications and business side. So that was a great niche for us.
So that's where we hung out most of the time for a lot of years. And of course, being self-employed, one of the biggest issues that we always have is, well, how do we save for retirement? Where do we put our money for retirement? And to be honest, we had what they call it, a mixed family.
Yeah, we had between us 5 kids, as you know, and that's quite a challenge in and out and remarried and all that stuff.
But the thing about it was that, when you're self-employed, you're earning as much money as you can as time allows. And it's like all things, the more you earn, the more you spend, and the more children you have, the more expensive it gets to send them through university and things like that. And so you end up in a situation where realistically you put your retirement on the back burner. Now,
for sure.
Whilst we had, I guess, small pensions, it wasn't until we were, early 50s, I guess, we got to about 50, and all of a sudden, retirement's on the horizon. It's a little bit closer than you actually want it to be, really. Mm-hmm. And so we thought, well, okay, how can we build this retirement fund that we need? So we decided, we had a good look around, and we decided to invest in property. So this is about 2005, I guess.
Okay.
And we went on a course to learn how to do it properly, because there's lots of pitfalls. And so that's what we did. And we decided, okay, we're going to put some money in that. And for 2 or 3 years, it was all going great. And then, of course, 2008 came along, and, the whole thing went, just about all of it we lost. We managed to hang on to a couple of properties, which was good. But yeah, it was a huge challenge for us, a huge problem, because the last thing we wanted to do was live hand to mouth on a tiny pension, and we had to find a way to replace effectively what we'd lost.
Exactly.
So
and I think one of our properties was a ski chalet, which was supposed to be our passive income, because the whole process of buying the property was actually to rent it, and we rented it to ski companies who just took over the whole building. We didn't have to do any marketing, nothing like that. They just took it over, and then they sold their holidays to their clients. Perfect. And that went on for a little while quite nicely, and it supported not all, but a big portion of the mortgage outlay that we'd taken for that property. But then things all went wrong again, as many people were caught up in the pandemic. And of course, we couldn't rent our chalet to a ski company. They were actually pulling out like nobody's business. So we thought, well, what could we do? And this is a couple of years before the pandemic really hit, to be clear. Okay. What could we do? So my mum's a very smart lady, bless her, up there in heaven. And she said, you know what, I read in the Telegraph, I think it was, that self-catering's the thing for people wanting ski holidays, because they could manage their budgets a bit better. So we thought, you know what, this might be an idea. We had never intended to be ski chalet hosts or any of that, but we did manage for a couple of years to do that. And again, it topped up the coffers, but the pandemic was the killer, really. As soon as we get a booking, the rules would change, people couldn't go, we had to refund the money. So we put the chalet up for sale. And as you know, because we do talk social media wise, we managed to sell that in June. And here we are now with Mum over the rainbow, able to make some of those lifestyle changes that we planned. And that's exciting. It's so exciting.
But if we just go on, carry on. Go on, carry on.
What I was going to say, I just wanted to interject. I mean, it's funny how we were on parallel paths, because 2005 is exactly when I bought my 2 rental properties in Florida while we were still living in California. And same thing, for a few years, it was great. And then it wasn't. Yeah. And I think what I want to, the message I want to leave about that is, you're smart, educated people, as, are Tom and I, and we did the same thing. We educated ourselves. We were not, there was a lot of flipping going on at that time. That wasn't really our plan. Our plan was for that long-term passive residual income that you get from renting out a property. And it was, I think, part of the trauma for us is we thought we were doing everything right? You put in that effort to do the things that are fiscally responsible, that make sense. And then out of left field, sort of this event happens that throws a monkey wrench into our plans. And it's very, not only financially devastating, but for me, I think the emotional side is, I kind of beat myself up, like, why didn't I see this coming? I should have known better, but at the same time, like I said, you've done everything in your power to be smart about it. So it was this, I don't know if you went through that, but I know a lot of people, you have these life events that come at you. It could be a divorce, or it could be a death. It could be a job loss. There's all these sorts of things. And I think that's, part of the challenge with the financial thing is it's not just the financial, it's really kind of that emotional piece. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I would say for me, as a woman, yes, more so. Chris is very practical. He holds me in check, sort of. And he said, we just got to find a way through this. We'll struggle through it some way, shape or form. And it was about that time as well. Having started our online business back in 2010, which we'll probably chat about. We started to think, there are other people go through challenges like this. How can we not only solve our problem, but also help other people solve theirs by sharing our story, just like you shared your story, how we came to know you in the first place. And I think that's something that's so important. We can't pretend everything's all perfect. World isn't like that. Humans aren't like that. But our problems can be our greatest asset, especially in a business sense, if we can help someone else through sharing that.
Yeah, and I think the important thing with that is keeping your mind in the right place. And we all go through this. Oh, I'm a failure, and as you said, we should have seen this coming and that. But of course, the reality of it is you would never ever see that coming, and you're in a position where you go, well, okay, I was up here, I'm now down here. I've just got to get back up there. And all I've got to do is find a way to do it. And that's where people, I think, really struggle, because as I said, their mindset is, I did wrong, I'm in the wrong place, etc. But the reality of it is fear, I suppose, sets in for them.
Sure, absolutely.
But we look at fear and we say, well, okay, so, they say the best things lie outside your comfort zone. And they certainly do. But the thing is, we've looked at fear and we've had conversations with other people, and somebody came up with the expression and said, well, fear is really having the confidence to learn something new. And you've done that many, many times in your life. You've learned something new. Mm-hmm. And therefore, if you've got the self-confidence to learn something new, the fear should all go away. It shouldn't be there. And just like, as Susan said earlier, 2010, we made this enormous decision to actually give up our consultancy and accountancy business and start building a business online. That was huge, because effectively we were giving up a multiple six-figure income.
Right.
And that was good.
Well, on top of a financially devastating loss, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume you didn't recover in 2 years from 2008 to 2010. No. So let me, before we dive into that, let me ask you, Chris, how were you able to maintain your equilibrium there and not get depressed or emotionally attached in that? Do you have any tips for anybody? I'm all ears.
I mean, I think the thing is, one of the things we were taught about our property when we were going through our training course was, you have to look at your property as a grey box rather than home. Because home is totally different to a grey box. The grey box was just there to make money. And as long as we still had our home, which we did, our challenge after we went through the 2008 crash was, how are we ever going to retire? It wasn't going to affect us today.
Well, I see.
It was going to affect us in the future. So what we had to do was basically sort of regroup, continue building what we were doing today, and then find something to do that would recover our future. I think that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, definitely. I think the grey box thing that Chris said, that was the hardest for me, letting go of something that we'd invested a lot of money and a lot of time into and was part of our future. That's hard, and I think that's hard for a lot of people, especially if they go through foreclosure of some kind and lose their home. We're very fortunate we didn't, but boy, did we get close at some point.
Sure. Well, and I like that. So really, not really, that was your future. So not focusing on that as the future, but really focusing on the present and saying, what can we do right now that's going to improve our situation in the future? And okay, this was the plan, but now we have to readjust and create a new plan that is going to replace it. And I know, for me, when I went through it, I think one of the most difficult parts about it was I was nearly 50 years old at the time that happened. And I had never been late on a payment for anything my entire life. And I think for me, that was the toughest part. It was part of my identity. Like, I'm a responsible adult. I pay my bills. And now I'm put into this financial position that I just can't. And for me, that was, I think, more devastating even than the fact that the houses were in foreclosure, whatever. I mean, that was a tough pill to swallow. And it was a random coach that I met that basically said, what would your life look like if you weren't emotionally attached to this situation? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'd feel so free. And it's like, well, flip the switch, right? Turn it off and just detach from them. And in our case, our home was also in, tough shape. We were behind on that one as well. Now, we did still have the sailboat, so we had our other home, and that's kind of what Tom and I said, as long as we keep up the boat payment, like, let the rest go, right? And talk about freedom. And that was really, it's ultimately what we ended up doing. And then thankfully we were able to resolve everything without foreclosure, which shocked me. I mean, I couldn't believe we got through that without that. But, things change. And, I think part of it is just keeping, like you said, in that frame of mind that almost like not caring, but really that emotional detachment and just saying, okay, we can't control this situation over here. So we're going to go focus on what we can control. And it sounds like that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it was being, like you say, it's being solution orientated. And a lot of people struggle with that mindset shift because they dug themselves so deep in the regret of the situation they find themselves in. And actually, Chris and I, through our story all the way, we've either been asked to be co-authors in books where we've shared what we've done, or we actually wrote our own book, which is The Mindset Shift, where we actually told our story from how we went from effectively employees, because we were employees of our own business, even though it was our own consultancy. Sure. Our clients were the boss, but we told that story and then gave exercises and help to people to actually think about how they could get out of their situation they're in if they wanted to enough. And that's always going to be the question they have to ask themselves. How much do I want to change my current status? And will I do it?
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's it. And at the time that I had that conversation, I was in a lot of pain. I mean, I was emotionally wrecked, and I didn't want to be in that pain anymore. So that was, for me, that was enough to say, okay, I've got to just let this go, because the pain is just too strong, and I can't stay here. Staying here, I know, is not going to help me. It's not going to solve the problem. So having to shift that over. So what's the old metaphor, the dog laying on the nail, right? If it gets uncomfortable enough.
Absolutely.
But Dawn, I think it's so important that we share this, and I'm really glad that you brought it out and that you share your experience too, because looking on the outside, and this is Chris's great metaphor, he's very good at describing this. You look like you've got the most successful, wonderful life. We look like we've got the most successful, wonderful life, and people want to emulate it. But they have to understand, they have to be in it first to see what we've gone through, that it doesn't come like that, but it will come if you work on it. It's it's a really good thing to talk about with other people.
Yeah, I think it's
showing our scars, got to show our scars.
Indeed, yes.
And that's I think that's one of the biggest problems, is people never see the scars. They only see the end result. They see where they are now, and they see the end result of somebody who's doing what they want to do, but they don't see anything in the middle. They see, it's so easy for them, and I'm struggling. But we were struggling.
It wasn't easy. Right.
And I mean, even today, when you're looking at something new and new markets and things, you still struggle. It's not all successful. You try something and it bombs. You go, that didn't work then.
Well, exactly. I mean, right now we're expanding our business. We're talking about how important it is for people's health in retirement, not just their wealth. In fact, your health is your wealth. But it's a new area for us to be talking about, and people don't know us for that, and they know us from the financial wellness side of retirement. But when you put the two together, it's a no-brainer, really. If we want to, as we do, we want to go and live in a beautiful climate, we have to make sure that we take care of our health so we can enjoy that for 20, 30 years more than we have now. And same as you, I'm sure. And I know your background was in health and wellness. And so you definitely know that one.
Well, yeah. And it's been said. I mean, without your health, wealth means nothing. I mean, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, what's the point? You're going to not have a good life.
We'll be back in a moment.
Isla Mujeres is a Caribbean jewel off the coast of Cancun. Castilito del Caribe warmly invites you to enjoy our spectacular oceanfront villa located in the heart of El Centro and a short walk to Playa Norte, which is ranked one of the top 10 beaches in the world. With an ocean view of crystal clear turquoise waters overlooking both the Caribbean and Cancun city skyline, we offer a fabulous location for you to enjoy all the peace and tranquility you're looking for on vacation, while also taking in all the excitement the island has to offer, with activities either in walking distance or a golf cart day excursion away. Please visit CastilitoCaribe.com, www.CastilitoCaribe.com. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Is it time to go? Are you starving for adventure and new experiences? Ready to lower your living costs and upgrade your quality of life? Do you long for the freedom to live anywhere and earn in paradise? You can live a happier, healthier, and more joyful life. Don't know where to start? Join us for our free workshop to plan your overseas beta test. You'll walk away with a step-by-step plan to turn pie-in-the-sky dreams into your pinch me, is this real reality, and create a life you never need a vacation from. We'll help you plan and execute your perfect exit. Register at paradiseroadmap.com. Welcome back to the Overseas Life Redesign podcast. Thank you so much for being here, and we invite you to subscribe if you like what you hear.
Well, I'd like to shift gears now and talk about this transition, because I've been through it and I want to hear your story, from this professional background to network marketing and direct sales, relationship marketing, because it's pretty, in my case, it was pretty profound, and I'm guessing it probably was for you as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it all started for us because we were actually researching for our clients, our consultancy clients, online education, online training, so we could help them build websites, because we're going back a few years, and help them build websites, help them to market online and Facebook and all those sorts of things. And it was looking at one of those packages, if you like, those products that actually had a lot of training in it. We realized we could actual fact start a business in it. We could in actual fact sell these products and make a commission. So, and I mean, it's what today is known as affiliate marketing. I mean, I don't know what it was called then, but it was.
We didn't really know, but we just got on with it.
But we found.
So you weren't let me stop you for a second. So even as financial professionals, you weren't really that familiar with the business.
Oh, no.
I mean, no. I mean, it was all. I mean, our sort of technical skills, if you like, were email and spreadsheets.
But we were good at business. Yeah. We were really good at business, and that was our speciality.
So really. That was how it came about. And of course, life gets in the way, and so we bought this product. And so it got put on the shelf. We thought, oh, yeah, we'll deal with that later. We'll deal with it later. Well, it took about 9 months. We know where we want to go, but we don't know how to get there. And so we spoke to this guy who we bought the product from. Now, he was 27 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I was just about 57 then.
We're not talking about how old I
am. And we had kids older than him.
Oh.
But he'd done what we wanted to do, and he was willing to help and guide us, and that was the important thing. He was going to show us the way.
Okay.
So we said, okay, let's do this. Now, for us, we said to ourselves, right, okay, how are we going to make this happen? Because bear in mind, we still had our full-time consultancy business, and we set ourselves a target of 6 months. Now, that just works for us.
Wow, that's really ambitious.
It
was, but we knew if we set ourselves a target of 6 months, we'd have an end date in mind. And an end date for us is really important, because I want you to think about this. When you're starting out, we effectively had 2 jobs. We had our day job, and then in the evening, we had our building our new business job.
That's right.
And so you're working a lot of hours every day of the week. So if you've got an end date, when you get to about 3 months and you're going, do I really want to carry on doing this? You've got to you can actually say, well, I've only got to do it for 3 months more.
Right.
And it gets closer and closer. And for us, that worked. So we gave ourselves 6 months, and we said in 6 months' time, we're going to pack up our accountancy and consultancy business, and we're going to concentrate on that full time. So was it hard work? Yeah, it was. But it would, to us, it was going to be worth it, because this was our way out of having no retirement income. This was how we were going to generate retirement income. And it was also going to help us to be able to travel the world and basically be location free, because it didn't matter where we were as long as we had an internet connection and we had our computers.
And people laugh about that, don't they? They think it's just hype what we say. But, you know, we set that like you did. It's a goal. It's possible if you make it so. And, you know, to cut a long story short, because Chris started at the beginning of our journey, you know, here we are now. We were told about this thing called network marketing, which is not dissimilar to affiliate marketing, way back when we were still working full time in our own consultancy business. And we saw the potential of that. We saw that this could be something we would revisit at some point in time, because it didn't work for what we did at the time. And we have revisited that, and we can see that it's probably one of the most amazing opportunities for someone in their retirement or wanting to earn an income for their retirement, because it packages a whole lot of things together. It packages personal development, it packages community, it brings together people of a like mind together. And if you absolutely love the products and you use them and you see them working, then to my mind, there's absolutely no better business in the world. We've done well with affiliate marketing, loved it, very successful. But this I see as a bigger potential for people. I can certainly see how it would appeal to a lot.
But only if you do it online.
Yeah, only using online. I'm going to be honest, we wouldn't do it in the old way. And I think the pandemic gave us that push that we needed. Oh my goodness, we've always wanted to do this. Now we can, because we're being given the training to do it, and we actually understand that training and how it works, and it allows us to sort of like a jigsaw together the things that we're good at and learning some new things and helping people. And if you help people, what better business is there in the world?
Well, I mean, that's what it was about.
Yeah.
It just
and technology, I want to reiterate that, because I did it the old school way. I mean, you know, cassette tapes, and VHS tapes and live meetings and long distance phone call charges. And I mean, on and on and on. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, right? And it was hard. And it was a hard business to recruit people into because it was hard. And so I think really technology has supercharged the opportunity in that field. But the other thing I want to point out that you said, and again, it's like parallel universe here, because you set a goal for 6 months. I had actually set a goal for 8 months when I came out of a convention in April. And I said, I don't want to practice law by the end of the year. And I did the same thing. And what I was told, and I've heard this many times since, is it's far easier to build a business like that fast than it is slow. And there's nothing like that concentrated effort to really build momentum. And, you know, you have a sense of urgency and people feel that. And it's like, oh, what's going on? You know, one of my mentors used to say, you know, people come from miles around to watch you burn when you light yourself on fire, you know, and that's kind of the phenomenon, right? and that's, you know, really what I did. I was a woman on a mission, and I there was a part of me, I think, and I think it's so important that you bring this up, the community. There was certainly a part of me that really questioned whether I could do it. Like, I really didn't have the belief in myself that I could do this. I was an attorney. I didn't have any familiarity with the industry like you. And it was the mentors and the colleagues that I was surrounded by that said, you can do this. We have faith in you. We know you can do this. And I remember when, you know, walking across the stage and looking in the eyes of my main mentor that really built that belief in me. He believed in me far more than I ever believed in myself. And seeing him, you know, in a big stadium full of people right in the front row with a big smile on his face and cheering on, you know, louder than anyone in the stadium. I mean, had that not been there, there's no way I could have accomplished that, especially in that short amount of time. And I think that is part of it that people who maybe dabble in it and, oh, I'll try this and are not really taking it serious. They don't have that commitment to say, I'm going to come make this work, come hell or high water. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And then there's really is a big difference in that. But that community, that support, and I, you know, as you know, I say in Claim Your Dream Life that if you have no background in entrepreneurship, that's absolutely the best type of business to build, because most of it, what is done in business is done for you. Like, you're given, you know, a mini personal franchise. And here, you know, not only are you going to build your own, but we're all going to help you. We all have this vested interest in your success. So yeah, it was very good to me. And, you know, it is really the primary reason why we were able to recover from our devastation. Yes, Tom went and got a job and worked for a couple of years, which gave me the luxury of time to build with a startup in the health and wellness space. And, you know, we earned $1 million in 6 years. Wow. On a part-time basis. I mean, wow. You know, we're very blessed, and I won't take all the credit for it, because obviously it was part of the family, the community, the products were fabulous. Like you said, all the ingredients need to be there, but it's something that you can research and you look at who's involved, and, you know, are they convicted felons, or are they people who've actually done well in the industry? I mean, you know, there's certain basic due diligence, and you don't have to be a rocket science or an accountant or an attorney to find this stuff out. That's the other beauty of the internet. Like, you know, you can find things out very quickly about, you know, these types of companies and be able to see who's involved. So I just wanted to interject that, because I think that's a really, really important point that oftentimes, and because oftentimes the point of entry is so small, people don't take it seriously, right? It's a sweat equity business. That's how you build it. And so you don't pay a lot financially to start a business like this, but then your overhead isn't high, like a franchise, you know, building and employees and equipment and all of these things that takes 3 to 5 years to recover your capital investment. You don't have any of that. And so I think it's a great opportunity, but like you say, you have to really be passionate about what it is that you're offering. You have to really believe in it. And it sounds like
I totally agree, Dawn. And I think one other thing to say here that I think is really important, because we don't always touch on it, is that just because you were successful with it, or just because we were, and because we come from a professional background, we're lucky in the education we've had and the mindsets we have, because it took a lot to get through qualifications, and that to have been what we were or still are by qualification. The thing with network marketing and even affiliate marketing is that anybody who is prepared to learn to earn, which is Chris's favorite expression, can do this, and they can overtake you. Because if they've got the networking and connection, and they like talking to people or like communicating with people, and there's so many ways they can do that, they can be more successful than you. And we would celebrate that. You know, that's the best thing in the world, that everyone has a chance to be successful.
Yeah, for sure. And that's absolutely what happened in our case, is we just had tremendous leaders that had huge success in our business, and we supported them, and you know, some of them never done anything like this before, so there was that opportunity to mentor them and really teach them how to be better at the business. And it was just, it's so rewarding. I never had any children, so it was like this was
we can lend you some. Dawn, we can lend you some. It's no worry. We got 5.
Well, Tom's got a couple, so there are some there. And then I have two brothers, one 9 years younger than me and one 16 years younger than me. So they're kind of more like my kids. But it really, I really felt that way in both of the companies that I worked with. Is those folks were family. I mean, we are still really good friends, like family with a lot of the folks that we work with. And you know, a lot of times in the work environment, we don't get to pick our coworkers, and that's the lovely thing about this, is we really get to choose who we care to work with.
Exactly.
And of course, we all get to travel as well.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that. What's on the horizon for you guys? I know you're planning on traveling, and what do you have up your sleeve? I want to hear.
Yeah. I mean, as far as straight traveling is concerned, we're going to Panama in November.
Ooh.
And that's a
Whereabouts?
I've no idea.
We don't know. We actually
it's a fully paid for.
It's a reward. It's reward
for
building our business. So yeah, I mean, we set it as a goal, and we could always talk about goal setting another day, but we set it as a goal. That's what we wanted to be able to do. We've always wanted to go to Panama.
It's lovely.
We've heard it's an amazing place. We've got friends there. So that's that side of things. As far as what next, we loved what you taught us on our call about beta testing places to live. And he took it to heart. So he's made us a plan, haven't you?
Yeah, we're going to go and live in Portugal.
Oh, lovely. Can I come visit?
Yeah, of course.
It's on my list of places to check out. Oh, you do have to tell us when you come. I would love to. I had a friend who just raved about Portugal, spent some time there. And we love Spain, you know, right next door.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, how exciting.
Yeah, we love Spain too, but Brexit's caused us a bit of grief with that. But we believe through his research and everything that if we live in Portugal and we get one of their special visas, which we're going to get some help to do, we'll then have flexibility to go to Spain and other parts of Europe, which gives us the travel side of things back that we're stuck with at the moment, the way things are.
So at the moment, what we're just going through this transition of we've got to move from here, because we moved here because we had to look after Susan's mum, and she passed recently. So and then of course our landlord came and told us, he said, oh well, I'm going to sell the house.
Don't things always happen together?
So we're actually here till the end of October. 31st of October we're out of here, And so we're going somewhere else temporarily here, and then, but in the meantime, we're going through this visa process, which takes about 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah, exciting.
But it will get us, the end result is that within 4 months, so hopefully the way we're looking at it, probably end of the year or early next year, we will be actually going to Portugal and staying.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It won't just be a holiday.
We can home swap, Dawn. Like you can come to Portugal and we'll go to your beautiful Mexican islands. So.
Well, no, actually, we're getting ready to pack up and go to Merida. We have 2 master suites on the 2nd floor, so we don't even need to swap. You can just come.
Oh, we'll be there. You only have to just reach out and say we'd love you to come and stay, and we'll go right. We'll pack our bags. We'll be.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
So we've got a hectic few months coming up, but it's going to be absolutely worth it. It's another one of these sort of changes, isn't it? Sort of, a big change, and you have to have, again, the right mindset to say, well, yeah, I'm in the 60s. Should I be doing it at 60, or should I be quieting down? Absolutely not. None of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's very exciting. And, it's that next chapter, right? That next adventure. Yeah. And it's very exciting, I think, when that happens. I mean, you guys have been through a lot of changes, as have I, Tom and I, and we actually embrace it. It's like, okay, we did this, we dreamed this, we made it happen, we made it a reality, we enjoyed it, and now what's next, and going on. And I think that does keep us young when we have that.
I agree. I think, Dawn, people need to meet more people like you and more people like us, instead of, dare I say it, just hanging out on social media, reading. We talked about this before we started, marketing style posts like, get my this program, get my that program. No, talk about the end result of that, and ignore anybody who says, oh, well, they're just lifestyle experts, I'll never be like them. You can truly, if you set yourself a goal for what you want to achieve. We always remember, and you probably remember, do you remember International Living, the magazine?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, this is this month, August, and the first article is, worried about your retirement, our experts will help you reimagine it. There you go. Put it on your calendar, put it on your goals, put it on your vision board, and then find somebody and some way to make it happen.
And I think one of the most important things, it comes back to, we were talking about community, but, your first step is talking to somebody. We talk to loads of people every week about, what's their next steps? What are they going to do? We're not there to sell them stuff.
Right.
We're just there to point them in a direction, because there are so many directions that you have in today's life and today's internet, and there's so many things that you can do. Yeah. But it just needs, a lot of it is just building somebody's confidence and their belief that they can actually do it. And I think that's the key to it, is being able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody, because that's how we started, in our online business. We picked up the phone and we talked to a 27-year-old guy who'd done what we wanted to do. And he said, yeah, I'll help you.
And we said yes.
And he said, this is the first step. Off you go.
And we did it.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's lovely. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, but I always like to close with this question. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to share before we close out?
No, but I will tell you, since we wrote our bio on our website, we've got an additional grandchild who was 1 in July. We now have a grand dog as well from my daughter, who doesn't want children. So absolutely fine. Very happy about that. We don't know if there'll be any others come along, but they are all championing our move to Portugal. And they just tell us, well, I hope you're going to buy a large enough place that we can come and stay. Oh, and will it have a swimming pool? I can't say more than that.
You're going to have to put the swimming pool on the dream board for sure. Well, that's lovely. Chris, any final comments?
I just think that, yes, change is difficult from the point of view, not of doing it, but up here. And, we just made a decision, yes, we're going to do it. But equally, you can make a decision, no, you're not going to do it. All we say to you, all we ask you to do is make a decision. Don't keep thinking about it for the rest of your life, because when you get to the end, you'll regret it and wish you made a decision. So all we say is make a positive decision, yes or no. And if it's no, then forget all about it and go find something else to do.
Enjoy your life as it is. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, this has been wonderful. It's, like I said, so great to reconnect with you guys. And I can't wait to meet you in person, whether it's Mexico or Portugal or some other exotic place in the world. Maybe we'll come down to Panama in November. I don't know if we can pull that off, but we did enjoy Panama as well. So it's so wonderful to create these friendships around the world that you're doing as well. So thank you for the time. And then just if you want to give the website again, if folks want to connect with you and follow you.
Yep. Yeah, if they want to go to livingtheretirementlifestyle.com, that's our podcast and our blog. There's our contact information there. Or just type into Google Chris and Susan Beesley, you'll find all our social media. But I'll give you those anyway, Dawn. We're like you, we're pretty accessible.
Easy to find, yeah. And we'll put those in the show notes for you so that folks can follow your amazing life.
Thank you very, very much.
We thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's been fabulous chat. We've enjoyed it very much.
All right. Thank you so much.
This episode of the Overseas Life Redesign podcast was brought to you by our sponsors. Thanks for tuning in. Did you love this episode of the Overseas Life Redesign podcast? Then please subscribe to our show and leave us a nice review. It's very much appreciated. We also invite you to become part of our Overseas Life Redesign community on Circle, where you can join us live for these broadcasts. Visit opats.com, that's OPATS.com for details. Thank you for listening.